All right. Welcome back to week 2 of Dugout Talk.
Shielding home.
Oh my
Watch
goodness,
out.
a home steal
Hey, we
attempt
did it.
and a
We stole
wild
home.
pitch.
That doesn't happen too often, folks.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Great to have you guys back. What we're going to cover today is going to be one about the 14-year-old that signed with the Padres, but he was actually 19. Is that right, guys?
19, yep.
19 years old. And then where we think Juan Soto will go and how much he'll sign for. Then we're going to do trending topics. Then our main topic, which we'll cover, which will be about what we think the most important thing is about the recruiting process at the college level. And then a would you rather and the Bible verse at the end. So we'll kind of let Kramer kind of kick it off here for us.
Yeah, so obviously there was a big trending topic in the baseball world of the Padres and a prospect that was a little younger than what everyone thought he was. So I kind of want to know what your guys' thoughts are and if you guys have any experience of like guys in the Latin America countries that are just trying to get out and they're trying to play baseball and if you guys have any stories or any input on like that whole situation because it's really fascinating and I always wonder now like how many people like in the big leagues now are like saying they're some like years old and they're actually like way off too. So it's kind of a curious topic to kind of pick your guys' brain on.
Dude, I kind of laugh at it because a lot of times with us, we'll make jokes about like, oh man, like he's 21, but really he's actually like 25 when we're talking about some of our Dominican teammates. Um, it is kind of crazy. I mean, you just don't know really. Obviously, I've dealt with a lot of them this season, and I love my Dominican teammates. They're the best. But you'll get like a 20-year-old that you sit there and you're like, yeah, this dude is 20. And then you have a 20-year-old kid and you're like, dude, I don't believe a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old could be like either this good or just like look like an old man. So it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting situation. Like I don't think it's something that it could happen all the time. Obviously, I don't think it gets if it does happen, it doesn't get caught a lot. But kind of a crazy thing that this kid missed out on, some I think $6 or $7 million or something like that. Just because instead of being a 14-year-old, he's actually a 19-year-old. So it's wild stuff.
Well, did you guys see that he was 17 years old, I think, at the time playing 12U?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I don't even was it I don't know what exactly it was. Was it a
It was
world
like
thing?
it was like a Team USA thing or like I think it was like was it like World Competition or something like that? What was it
Yeah.
Cup or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
I
was
think it
playing.
was.
It was like one of
Think
like the world things.
He pulled out the bench warmer IM 12 birth
exactly and paid somebody.
certificate.
Well, like, do you think about when we were 17 years old, what we were doing, and then imagine being 17 years old playing against 12-year-olds in the small field.
Oh man, it's yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
all
kind
of
of unfair.
Very unfair. Oh my
I think
goodness.
we all would have signed for $6 million, 4 million, whatever it
Oh,
was, however $1 million. Now I will say, if someone did offer me a bunch of money to be 17 years old and play against 12-year-olds, I would do it, 100%.
you're not saying no to that. That's for sure. But I also think too. I mean, it's crazy to see because a lot of the players that obviously come out of the Dominican Republic or a lot of people over in the Latin American countries, like they play ball, man. They're good. Like they're really, really talented, really like just special players. So sometimes it's really hard to tell. I mean, you could have a 12-year-old that has that kind of that pop, bat to ball skills, all that type of stuff. So sometimes it's hard to tell, but yeah, kind of crazy. 14 and 19, that's a big difference. I wish I could, go back 4 years or five
Oh,
years.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I think it was somebody. I was looking real quick. where someone had like wrote a report like he's a big physical kid and like 6'2" already, and it's like, yeah, because he's 5 years older than what you think he
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
So, um, and then I guess to the next topic, we'll kind of cover where do we think Juan Soto will sign, or where we think he'll sign, and how much do we think he'll sign for. So kind of interested to see what you guys think here.
I don't know. Something about it. I just feel like he's going to go back to the Yankees. I just feel like they're going to give him a blank check, and they're just going to try to get him back. They had, some magic this year with him, and I feel like they want to keep him there and make him a Yankee for life. So, like, I feel like they're just going to give him a blank check and just say, whatever you want, well, we want you on the team. I don't know. Just a feeling.
I don't know. I don't know, Kramer. I saw something recently that said that the Yankees believe that their spending is something that they can't keep doing, and that they might be out of the sweepstakes for Soto, which I don't think is actually going to happen. But I just think they're in a place right now where they definitely need to bring.
Not sure what's going on with Cooper here. He's back, baby. Let's go. What happened?
My phone was at, I can't even see you guys in here, but my phone was at 20%,
Uh-huh.
and um it just completely died. So that was kind of strange, but
So you had
we're
it.
back.
You put on the charger.
I put it on the charger, so we're good. We're good to go. But
Let's go. Yeah.
no, but
Well,
back to what I was saying though was um like I've heard that the Yankees don't really want to spend the money for him, but they definitely want him, obviously. But I have heard that the Mets, their owners, literally said, "I'll pay whatever." So I could see personally him staying in New York, but actually going to the Mets. However, I just don't know if that's a good play for him to do. I think, being a Yankee probably is the best decision for him. I know a lot of people have talked about how the Dodgers are said they're in the sweepstakes. I mean, if he really wanted to be like that, he could go to the Dodgers, but I just don't see that being something he does. So I think the Mets or the Yankees, I think, are the top two.
yeah, that's Coop. Great insight. I think you could report for MLB today. But I think if you can't beat him, join him. I think he goes to the Dodgers. They're going to defer some money away, and he's going to be a Dodger. They're going to win the World Series next year.
I did see something today that he is prioritizing winning. Like, so he wants to go to a winning team, so that like eliminates like half the teams even more. So like, think about all the teams that win, like Yankees, Dodgers, like Phillies, Mets, like maybe even like the Braves or something like that, like winning teams that he wants to play for. So that kind of narrows it
What
focus down as well.
what was Otani's contract? 600 million?
700,
700.
700 million.
Oh yeah, I forget.
I don't
I mean,
think he'll get
Yeah, I don't
that.
think so
I
no,
either.
just don't
Because
think he'll
Shohei is
get
a
you
that.
can't.
two-way, and like the pitching and the hitting, like Soto's an
Yeah.
outfielder, but he'll get a lot, but I don't think he'll get that much.
Did he win a Gold Glove, or was he Gold Glove finalist or something?
I think he might have been, but I really don't think his defense is all like, I think his
No,
defense is good, but he makes a lot of mistakes.
absolutely. How could he be a Gold Glove finalist?
Like it doesn't, yeah,
You
I
should
don't,
put the
I,
the Yankees guy in right field that try to strip the ball from Betts. He should be a Gold Glove finalist if Juan Soto's made it.
Well, I thought Mookie was like playing laps around Soto in right field during the World Series. Mookie was doing a lot of great things in right field during the World Series that were like undervalued and underappreciated. Like every time there was a ball hit to right field, like he would just get it in immediately, like keep him on first base, just try to keep double play in order. So like I think like just like on that matchup right there, like Mookie was just outplaying him in right field. So
Mookie's a special
oh
player,
yeah,
man. The fact that he can go and play shortstop, second base, left field, right field, even center if you really need him
yeah,
to,
no doubt.
like it's pretty crazy to see. But I really think, if the Yankees want to win, they got to bring Soto back, and they have to fix some of the issues that they've had within the team. But that is the issue: is how do you do that with paying Soto all that money, unless you defer it, obviously. But it's they had some serious issues throughout the playoffs and even during the season with just not having. I think they have a really good rotation. I just don't think like their lineup is sustainable to have success in the playoffs, especially playing a team like the Dodgers.
Yeah. I think a dark horse. I do agree because I think for the Yankees to be good stuff, you have to find a way to sign Soto again to get back to where you were. Dark horse for me is the Texas Rangers. You got a really good pitching core kind of going on. You still got Seager left. You know, you got big names healthy. I don't know if they have the money for him.
I just feel like Soto is like his like personality isn't like a Texas Ranger. Like he's a very big market like personality. So
Yeah.
I just feel like
No, I
the
agree.
fit wise, I don't know if it'd be like Corey Seager is not like a big personality. He just wants to go out there and play baseball. And like I feel like Soto sometimes like he wants like the attention and stuff like that. That's just my opinion, but I feel like that's kind of how he operates.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think New York. I do think New York or LA is the perfect place
Yeah.
for him. I wouldn't be surprised. Like personally, I wouldn't be surprised with Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia could be an interesting move because obviously I know him and Bryce Harper were teammates. Him and Trey Turner, like those type, and I know that they probably. I mean, you have Castellanos in right field. They have Marsh in left field, don't they?
Yeah,
I think it's
and like
left.
Rojas in center, so and then
Which
Schwarber
I guess you could
DHs.
move Castellanos. Yeah,
So
I
it's like
mean,
tough for them
you could.
to move that. That's like there's just too many. Unless you put like
A lot of
yeah, unless
pieces.
you got like Rojas needs to go, and then you got to find a center fielder. Like Soto ain't gonna play center field.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, so
true.
it's just
That's true.
tough.
So that's tough, but I will say if they, I think the Phillies add a player like Soto. I mean, that's been their biggest issue the past 2 years. Is like it hasn't been pitching. It's been when they get to the playoffs, their hitting is either like on like the hottest of hot streaks or the coldest of cold
Yeah,
streaks, and they end up losing when they probably shouldn't.
100% agree.
All right, moving into our next segment, our main topic. This is a big one, especially for you young kids watching. Not that many people watch us anyways right now. I think our first video is at 30 views. So
Beautiful.
that's probably Coop. That's probably your dad, my mom, probably
We're up there, yeah.
my other YouTube accounts. But 30 views is better than 0. So for our main topic today for you young kids is what we think the most important thing during the recruiting process is. And I'll kind of let Coop, you kick this one off.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think for me, the biggest thing that I see with a lot of kids in the recruiting process is they don't understand the schools that they want to go to, and they're also not fully realistic with the schools that like they can go to. Like for me, when I was getting recruited, it was like, I wanted to go to the big schools. I wanted to go to Maryland, wanted to go to Vanderbilt, all these places. But out of high school, like I just wasn't good enough. And even kind of after my third year of school transferring, like I thought I was good enough to go to Maryland. But just like my stats and even where I was at previously, probably not good enough to go to some of the schools I was reaching out to go to. Which for me, I always think like, hey, reach out. You never know what could happen. But I think the biggest thing is being able to come up with a lineup of schools you want to go to. And that's, looking up everything between, obviously the school, the major that you might want to do, the actual program, are they a winning program, all that type of stuff. And then for me personally, the biggest thing that I did was to try and stand out. I did it when I was transferring, but I got videos together and basically tried to make it personalized, like me saying why I believe I'm a good fit for your program. Obviously, here's some like highlight videos that you can look at, but like what I can bring to your program and what I can do to help your program. Because that's the biggest thing is like, obviously, if you like talk about, hey, man, like I'm just a really good player and I just think you should bring me in because I bat 280 with 18 nukes and all this type of stuff. Like there is some of that where a coach might be like, oh, okay, like that's kind of cool. Like it's kind of good to have that information in there somewhere, but being able to actually show off your personality and also your ability and provide them with the information of, hey, this is actually important. This kid wants to add to the program, and he can add to the program with what he's saying.
Yeah, to kind of go off like Coop, I think the biggest thing for me is like just finding the right fit. Um, there's just a lot of people that just want to go to school, just like Coop said, just to go and like the name, the status, but it may not fit like you, or like you want to go to an Ivy League school and you have a 2.6. Like that's not going to work. You got to find what's best and fit for you. So if you value academics or you value baseball, you got to find schools that fit that mold for you. And every program's different, and every school, is better or worse in academics. You're going to get a degree either way, but the rigorous of academics of the Ivy League is definitely different than like say the SEC or something like that. It's just a lot different. So knowing what you're good at as a player and on and off the field, I think is the biggest thing for me, because guys will try to get into schools that they're not good enough for, or like baseball wise or academic wise. So they're just kind of setting themselves up for failure because they're not honing on the schools that they need to, or and like they should be, because they're trying to find something that's not there. So just trying to find the right fit for you. And also I would just say like, really just, I don't know how to put this, but just, yeah, like Coop said, like reach out to everyone, and I guess, try to talk to as many people as you can about your skill set. You may think that you're somewhere and other coaches or other people say differently. So I would say, be realistic in what you do and talk to as many people as you can, and try to get a good gauge of where you're at. And as you get older, the more narrow it gets for you, and your focus will narrow, and you'll understand kind of what player you are. But the earlier you can do that, I think the better off you are.
Well, and as Kramer said, I know Tristan wants to get to this point, but to what Kramer said there too, like understand that coaches are there to help you. But it's also a situation like a coach will say something to you, and it could be their own personal opinion. Like, I mean, for me, my high school coach, when I was a sophomore was like, you're a D3 player. And for me, it was kind of those things where like when I was a sophomore, I was a D3 player, right? And that's kind of the view of like, oh, like I need to get better 100%. But people can take that the wrong way and go like, oh, I'm a D3 player, like I'll never make it to D1, like that's unbelievable. Like, I don't think I can do. Like, what am I gonna do? Right? I want to be D1. That's my dream. I want to make it to the show. I want to do all this. Like, that's my dream. It's still 100% possible. It's just understanding that the coach is saying that from now. Like, he's looking at you going, hey, you're a D3 player right now. I'm not saying that you can't be a Division I player. And most of the time when coaches do say, hey, like, I don't think you can be a Division I player, like that's when you have to go, in one ear, in one ear, out the other. But when they tell you, hey, listen, we believe that you're a D3 player right now, but you have the potential to grow, that's where you take it and go, hey, how can I learn and grow to become a better player?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I remember my high school coach played pro ball for the Braves and stuff. Went to Dayton. Remember him telling me I wanted to go play Division I baseball. Obviously, in high school, everybody does. And he said, "You're a Division II player." I don't know. This may be in my junior year. He's like, "That's what I think you are," and I was like, "Well, that kind of sucks." But at the time, I was super small, skinny, and stuff. I had a little bit of athleticism, could play a little bit, and I went D2, but obviously I turned into a Division I player, and had an okay career there. But you also grow so much once you get into college, like it just doesn't stop when you get to the high school level. And a little different approach towards what you guys said, which is great. I'll just hit on something different. Is I think one of the most important things in the recruiting process to be able to get to where you think you might want to go is maturing the body as fast as possible, understanding who you are as a player, what you have to improve on. A lot of guys just do not make their training environment what it should be at the level that they want to get to. Like, for instance, some guys think that they want to play SEC baseball, but they train like they're going to play Division III baseball. Like, they take days off, and some kids like can train as hard as they can possibly, and this kid outworks everybody else and still be a Division III player. And the thing that I love the most about that is because I'd rather have that career, work as hard as I possibly could every single day and get truth out of it, knowing that this is the player that I was and playing Division III baseball instead of being okay, hitting here and there, like lifting here and there, just not maximizing my potential and, playing 50% of the time at a Division I school, because I would rather know the truth of who I could have been, right? And Coop, same thing for you. Like, even when you were done with the mount and you go down to tread and you're training and you're trying to play pro ball, and then you're still always maximizing your potential. And I think the sooner you can maximize your potential, maturing the body, understanding what you need to get better at, middle infielder, if you need better hands, get better hands. If you need to become faster, if you need to get stronger because you're a power guy, all those kind of things. If you figure that out soon, because you don't see these SEC kids, these kids committing to Division I schools really early on who aren't big or physical or can have elite speed, or, there's kids it's 15, 92, 95. So it's like, how fast can you get there, later on? And you're always trying to stack on top of each other, like even later on. Obviously, Kramer and I being JUCO kids out of high school, like, we were still in the recruiting process, when we were 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, however old we were, like, still trying to get recruited there. So you're still trying to figure out how you can become, a better player. And we were trying to get bigger, faster, stronger, which you always are, of course. So I think for kids, the sooner they can figure that out, the better they'll be. And then, of course, figuring out where you need to go financially, what's best for you, like, where are you going to enjoy it. Like, I always tell kids when I go on the recruiting tour, like, you don't have, like, nobody can make this decision for you. Your mom, your dad, your best friend, nobody can. You have to live it for 4 years. Wake up every day, go to 6 a.m. lifts, be with these guys every single day, do your work, all that kind of stuff. Like, nobody else can do it but you. So you have to figure out what is the best place for you to go. And in your heart, you'll know it, right? And maybe it's not the school you finish at. In my heart, going to Charleston my freshman year was the best decision for me. Like, and that was in my heart during high school. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Led me to Patrick Henry and then Mount St. Mary's and so on. So I think just understanding, what you need to work on, what you struggle with, maturing your body. And then, I think it all falls into place.
Yeah, I think, like, if you get an opportunity to, like, go on a visit to a school, like, try to go to a practice and interact with the guys, because those eventually may be your teammates. So if you, like, really don't like those guys a lot, like, that's that's probably not going to be a good fit, because you're probably going to be miserable there. You're not going to like a lot of the guys there. So take time to, if you have an opportunity to go on a visit, hopefully coach offers you can go to practice and really meet the guys, because at the end of the day, like, those guys, they're at the school, they did the same thing that kid's doing to make that decision. So if, and a lot of times, players are the best recruiters, because they'll tell the other guy if it's a good place to go, and they'll tell the other guy if it's not a good place to go and they don't like it there and they don't like the coaches. So really, talk to as many players and staff and as many, people around the program as possible, because you get a really good feel from the team, if you watch a practice, of how the guys interact and how, how much of a family they are. So that's kind of like a different piece to it. But I think that it's also really important to find, really good teammates as well, because, those are the guys you're going to go ride or die for hopefully 4 years. So.
I also think, personally, this is probably something that we'll talk about a little bit later, as we move through the pod. But understanding too, I mean, I was a kid out of high school that I got up to 90 my senior year, like, got an offer from UMBC. I mean, like we said with Tristan, like I, in my opinion, didn't look at myself and go, "Hey, what can I do to get better, and how can I become this like player that I want to be?" Right? Quick enough, and I probably didn't train the way that I did later into my career, where I probably could have been in a lot better position if I did that. But I also think a lot of people overlook this, and I did when I was yeah, going into my freshman year and even as a senior and junior in high school, is the JUCO route. And I know we'll cover on that probably later on in the pod, but like that route was now not so much, like people don't look at it as kind of a taboo thing. Um, but I know for me, like there was kind of that little taboo, like I don't want to go JUCO. Like JUCO's, you go there if you're not good at baseball, or you're not good at school, grades are bad, whatever it is. Understand that the JUCO, especially with the two guys in front of me, like JUCO can lead you to where you want to be. So always keep the option open and understand that, especially nowadays with how college baseball is, where you start might not be where you finish. So keep that in mind.
Another thing that I do want to hit on really quick about, the process, what I think is really important is the training environment. And I won't, touch too much on this, but just making sure that your training environment can help you succeed. Like guys, I talk to guys when I give these hitting talks and stuff when I go to work these camps and stuff. And I'll ask guys, like, I've heard kids come back to the dugout, like, all I'm getting is sliders. And I remember telling this team after we got done with the game, because we had a talk, and I said, I hear guys complaining about getting sliders in the game. Like, what do you think's going to happen when you get to the college level? And I asked him, who hit sliders this week? No, none of them hit sliders, but then you're complaining because you get sliders in the game. And then when you get to the college level, like, if you can't hit the slider, you're just getting sliders anyways. So how can you make your training environment like one that is challenging but can help you succeed when you get into the game? Like front flips and just maybe just doing your bands or something like that isn't going to get it done on the pitching or the hitting side. Like trying to hit a front flip home run in the cage because you look cool in the facility, like it's not going to prepare you for the game. Like there's the feel good and get good, and our head coach talks about that, and I love that saying. Like find a way to get good, like, and it starts with a training environment, and we'll hit that later down the road probably. But that's the one thing, like kids never, like, you don't want to challenge yourself. And I was a victim of it. This is why I voice it so much, because I didn't really start doing that till I was in junior college. And maybe it's like I was training velo and doing curveballs every day and double machine and all that kind of stuff, which in the end was best for me. I wish I would have learned that early on. But this day, I mean, I've run into guys at the pro level, and I remember doing a workout with the Tigers up in Northern Virginia, and their hitting coach, I asked him, what do you guys do? He's like, bat the ball, like moving the hack to, opposite angle to, inside angle to the double hacks too, with fungo bats. So it's a smaller barrel to foam balls, and you're really, and mixed BP and all this kind of stuff. And like, it's not fun, but it will get you where you need to be down the road. Like, and that's what kids need to figure out early on. Like, you just don't need to walk in the facility and look cool and hit. Like, understand what you're trying to do, have a plan, challenge yourself and stuff. And I think that's huge, because then you'll get recruited where you want to go. Like, if you're good enough, like, you're going to go where you want to go. That's part of the recruiting process. Like, if the recruiting process isn't fun, you're not going where you didn't want to go, you probably aren't good enough. So find a way to be good enough.
That's a good.
I remember
nice little tangent right there, T-Mac, boy.
Really good, really good.
Hey, I gave that talk, no lie. Where at this camp, parents have already paid, obviously, like coaching talk. So of course, I give it, and the truth, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but I basically told them they already paid for this event. I was like, you want to know the best thing about in the recruiting process that you could do is be good enough. Because you pay this money to go to camps. If you're not good enough, you're still not going to get recruited. You can pay all the money you want. You can go to all the events you want to go to, but it doesn't matter if you're not good enough. And I mean, even when the other coaches talked, Kennesaw State's coach was there, and another Division III coach had talked, and the parents kind of still had the same face throughout the whole talk. And at the end, any questions? No. So I don't know if it was a quiet crowd or maybe they don't like the truth. I don't know. but
Truth
I
hurts.
don't know. I was just like, and the
Truth hurts. The
The
truth
Kennesaw
hurts.
State coach comes up and he's like, at all my events, I've never sat there in front of that many people say any questions, and nobody has a single question. I'm like,
Yep.
it was fun.
Crazy.
But
Take advantage of that too. I mean, we'll go into the next topic in a second, but like take advantage of that. Like when you go to those camps, you're in front of those people, in front of those coaches, whatever it is. Like take advantage to go up to them and ask, hey, like, you know, what is this like? What is this like? Hey, how do you think I could get better? Like all these different things, because I mean, a lot of these guys that are coaches, you know, there are some coaches out there that you just look at and go, man, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. But most college coaches have an idea of how to get better, how to get to that level, what they look for, obviously, because they are the college coach. So it's just like ask those questions, and then from there, like figure out what you need to do to, like Tristan said, be good enough.
all right, so we're going into Would You Rather, which is a great segment, honestly, and what we'll do every week and change up. But there's a lot of different ways you could go with this. I think, playing college baseball, sometimes Would You Rathers have probably gone above and beyond and probably not turned PG. So, but here for the channel, we'll keep it a little PG. But you could imagine college baseball. So, the first Would You Rather is one that I forgot because Cooper or Kramer came up with it. So I'm going to have them ask. But then I have a second one that is interesting, I think.
Would you rather have a pause button for life or a rewind button for life? Cooper?
Okay, can we clarify this real quick?
What?
If we're pausing, like, am I paused? Like, can I still go?
Yeah, you're still
Like-
going, but like everything's paused. Like, take it. Like, I think when I think about like the pause button is just like taking moments in, right? Like you say you
Okay.
get like you win a championship or something
Mhm.
like that. Like you could take it in for
I like that.
longer, and then obviously
Yeah.
the rewind is pretty self-explanatory. But
That hits the heart.
Yeah,
man.
that one's tough. But I personally, I mean, even what we were talking about earlier, like I think my journey is absolutely sick. I think it's really cool having the journey that I had. But I also look back and think, man, if I did certain things sooner, maybe there's a possibility I have a lot more cash in my my bank account, and I'm in a better position as a pitcher and all this type of stuff. So I'm probably going to go rewind just because I know if I went back, obviously I look back and I'm happy with everything. But like I said, there's probably some certain moments I think I probably could have worked a little bit harder. Certain things I probably could have done a little bit sooner that would have led me to more success in the future. So I'm going rewind.
Tristan,
This is tough, but the rewind I do like, but if I rewind back in time and it doesn't go exactly the way it was, then I would be upset a little bit because I have like everything up to this point in my life, even the bad, like kind of made me who I was, stuff like that. So it's like, don't know if I want to go that route because like I would love to rewind when we won the regional in junior college and go relive that moment, like running in, jumping in. But like, if the home run doesn't happen or someone makes an error and we lose, then I'm going to be mad. So I think the pause button more for me. Like, can you pause it right in that moment? Win the state championship, going through that, like, pause. Even like, I look at like the best days, like being a kid. Like, I don't know if I would have done it back then, but like pausing it, then like just playing football out in the yard, like 10 years old, like not a worry in the world, like tackling each other out in the yard, like hitting your head on a rock. I remember one of my buddies climbing a tree. He goes out and he's like dangling down this huge tree branch and it just breaks and he falls on the rocks. And like, I would love to just pause that moment right there and just laugh so hard and do it all. But that's mine.
I think I'm taking the pause button. I think I'm taking the pause. Sorry, Coop. I know you're the only guy in the rewind, but I don't know.
That's
Like
fine.
Tristan
That's
said, like
fine.
everything to this point has like happened for a reason, and I'm like I'm very content on why it happened, and like I think I needed a lot of that stuff to get to this point. So just like pause the good times and then like try to move past the bad times. Obviously not pause them, but I think I'm taking the pause button because I think I don't know the rewind. Like if you do something, then it's like it sets off a whole chain of events, right? Like say Cooper, you hit like the lottery or something like that on the rewind because you go back. Now you're rich, and then your life's completely different from that point on. So, and then like, what if you don't get
That is
signed
true.
by the Red Sox? You don't do all this other stuff. So it's like a whole like trickle down effect in my mind. So for me,
That
I'm
is
taking
true.
I'm taking
That
the
is
pause
true.
button.
We definitely probably wouldn't be giving this podcast if you guys hit the rewind button.
I
So
guess that is a good
Yeah,
point.
right?
That's a good point.
the other would you rather was a little bit more funny.
Oh,
And would you rather be hit by a pitch by Aroldis Chapman once every month for a year, or would you rather fight off 50 duck-sized horses? Yep, think about
This
that.
might be the most interesting thing I've ever heard in my life.
did you personally come up with this one?
You come up with this one? This is interesting.
I've heard the horse-sized duck, duck-sized horse thing before, but yeah, I kind of put it together myself.
You said 50?
50 duck-sized horses. So think about a horse the size of a duck.
Do I have to
And
just
50 of them are coming after you.
do I have to just
Do I have a weapon?
yeah like
No,
so
No,
is it
it's
just
just
like
you.
a one-time thing like
it's a one-time thing, but you got to think, are you going to make it out of this thing?
I mean is the horse going to attack me? Like horses aren't like deadly.
It's 50. Oh, they're coming after you. You had to fight off
Duck-sized
50
horses.
duck-sized horses.
See, part of me thinks I could just kick them, but
They
I don't
well,
know.
but think about if you're going after one, and then the one gets you from behind, like gives you a little kick from behind, like
So you're
and
taking
the other
so
one,
what I'm hearing is you're taking the Aroldis Chapman.
me
Yeah,
personally,
that's what I'm hearing too.
I'm taking the Aroldis Chapman one, but I am literally dreading that day once a month for a year. Like I'm dreading that day every single day.
So you just get if you get
That's
it
like a-
twice or 12 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
12 times.
If
Yeah,
he hits me
that's
on
tough.
if he hits me on the hand or something like that and like breaks my hand, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed.
We had one here that we did, and it was a Aroldis Chapman. It was like, would you rather take an Aroldis Chapman fastball to the ribs, 105, or I think it was 105, his fastest pitch ever, right, to the ribs, or get tackled by Ray Lewis going through the middle.
That's a good one.
Ooh, that's
See,
a tough
that
one.
one's better than the whatever
That's
the
a-
heck you just said. That's
Well,
a good one.
okay, before. So wait, did you guys pick the Aroldis Chapman one though, or are you guys fighting
I
the?
think I'm going to Aroldis
I
Chapman
don't
over
know
the
what the
duck-sized horses.
other. Yeah, I'm gonna take that one. It's 12 of them.
Good decision.
It's fine. But the one that
Good
Coop
decision.
said, that's a tough one.
It's tough one. That's a really tough
I think
one.
I'm getting screwed if I will say I think I can handle the 105 mile an hour fastball. That would suck, obviously, but I think me getting hit by Ray Lewis, like I would probably die. I'd
Is
be
it
in
full
a
on
bad
like
shape.
clear lane, just bam?
Well,
Oh yeah, it's clear lane. It's you and him. Like
How many
clear
yards?
lane.
How many yards?
Why
we
does the
talking?
yards matter?
Tristan,
Like
you're
if we're
not.
5 yards out, I'm willing to like get it. But if he's like 10, 15 yards out full speed, I'm out.
I'll go 10. I think that's what it was. 10.
Yeah.
Like full speed, he's coming after you.
Mhm.
Like I just don't. No.
No.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. No. We're Aroldis Chapman all the way. So we at least are, I guess, on the same page with the Aroldis Chapman fastball. But dang, that's our would you rather right there.
Good ones. We'll try to come up with better ones. If you guys, to our 30 viewers, if you guys think of any trending topics, would you rather, or want to hear about anything in our main topic, feel free to let us know anything. We'd love to answer them. And
Comment down below.
yeah, I'll run a Google ad too and get the views up. So hopefully someone will comment. I'm going to pay for views. is what you're hearing. And then last but not least, to end it, obviously the Bible verse of the week is Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. What does that mean to you guys?
Cooper, you go first.
I'll go
Yeah.
first. Okay. All right. Iron sharpens iron. I mean, it's something that Tristan was talking about earlier with the training environment. Part of it is like, listen, the people you surround yourself with are the people you become. That's kind of been a proven fact. And the thing is if you, especially as a baseball player, your training environment, the people you're training around, there are people that just go, hey, like we can take an off day, or like, hey, like, you know, you're about to go for 315 and it was really easy, and you're thinking, hey man, I think I can go up, and like it might be hard, but like, you know, I'll be there. And the guy goes, no, but you got it, you're good. Like, isn't trying to push you to be better, push you to become, you know, the best version of yourself you can be. That's where you're kind of in just not an iron sharpens iron type environment. Like being able to be surrounded by people that really want the best for you, really want to push you to become the best version of yourself, even in those times that you really don't want them to. Like, I know there's plenty of times that, one of my best friends, Chase, where we would go do something and I'm like, I just don't want to do this. But he was like, no, we are doing this because it will get you better and it will get us better. And it ended up becoming, you know, some of the best things that we ever did. So, you know, being able to be in that kind of environment that people, you know, help build you up, and also believing that, you know, especially on the other side of things, that it's really hard to do things alone in this world, and there's the ability to have a ton of other people to help you. So take the help and understand, obviously, that it takes some time to understand what is good help and what's bad help, but take the help and be able to decipher which is good help and bad help, and be around people that really want the best for you.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I don't got much more to add than that. You basically touched on everything I was going to talk about. So I don't know if you have anything, Tristan, but that was pretty spot on.
Nope. Perfect, Coop. Coop is closing us out here. The only thing that we ask
Love it.
to sharpen us would be if you guys like, comment, and subscribed. That would help us out. So please do that.
100%.
I like it.
Give
Please do.
us that follow, that like, and that comment, and we will be seeing you guys soon.
Thank you guys. Peace out.